like to call the August 24th, 2020 Village Board meeting to order. Would you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Awesome. Before we do the roll call, let me do my little commercial here. Again, on August 21st, 2020, Governor J.B. Pritzker again declared pursuant of Section 7 of the Illinois Emergency Management Agency Act, 20 ILCS 3305/7, that a disaster exists in Illinois as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. As such, per SB 2135, recently passed by the General Assembly, I, as the Mayor of Lamont, in accordance with the aforementioned declaration of emergency by the governor, finds that it is not practical or prudent to have an in-person meeting tonight. Additionally, for the record, this meeting is being conducted via Zoom virtual platform. Notice of same was given to the public and at least one person. In this case, I believe it is Mike at Village Hall, George?
Correct, yep.
Is present at Village Hall as is required by the newly amended act. So with that out of the way, let's move on to the roll call. Charlene, can you do that for us, please?
Sure. This evening, we're starting with Trustee McCafferty.
Here.
Snagowski,
Here.
Stapleton,
Here.
Kittredge,
Here.
Kwasniewski,
Here.
Maher.
Here.
That's
Okay,
it.
great. Thanks, Charlene. Next up is our George. Before we get into that, you want to kind of lay the groundwork for the meeting?
Yeah, just to follow up with what you had gone through with your introduction, Mr. Mayor. We're going to conduct the meeting here on Zoom. We have opportunities for public participation in the meeting. You can comment prior to the meeting or up until the meeting, even during the meeting. We've been able to read comments into the record. You can view the meeting live on our YouTube station now or in archive, or after the meeting, we will put the tape of the recording of the meeting into our agenda center, so you can go and view the meeting from there as well. You will have, lastly, everyone's on here tonight, a way to participate is to be on the meeting. You had to register beforehand, but you got a link that got you into the meeting, and there will be time for public comment. We don't have a public hearing per se on the agenda here tonight, but we always have a section of the agenda towards the end for public comments, so we'll open that up as well. But that's all I have for you, Mr. Mayor, so far. I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, thanks, George. Okay, so the consent agenda consists of the following. We have approval of minutes for the August 10th Village Board meeting. We have minutes for the August 17th Committee of the Whole. We have approval of disbursements. We have an ordinance O-52-20 amending the Lamont Municipal Code Chapter 5.04 liquor licenses, Class D1 liquor license amendment. And lastly, we have a resolution R-38-20 authorizing approval of an agreement with GT Mechanical Projects and Design Incorporated. I need a motion, please.
So moved. McClafferty.
Second, Snagowski.
Okay, we have a motion by Trustee McClafferty, seconded by Trustee Snagowski. Any questions or comments regarding the consent agenda by the trustees? Okay, no questions or comments concerning the consent agenda. Roll call, please, Charlene.
McClafferty,
Yes.
Snagowski,
Yes.
Stapleton,
Yes.
Kittredge,
Yes.
Kwasniewski,
Yes.
Maher.
Yes.
Okay, motion approved. Next up, we have the mayor's mention. We have a couple items going on. Our village attorney, Mike Stillman, who is on, informed us at our last board meeting of an emergency rule filed by the Illinois Department of Public Health, which has since been implemented. Mike will provide additional details regarding this emergency rule or give us an update on it regarding the use of face coverings for any business, service, facility, organization, or school. There are a number of towns and other regions whose metrics are increasing. Our businesses continue to deal with COVID-19, and we ask that each of you do your part and follow the IDPH requirements, which includes wearing your face mask coverings and social distance at all times. Wednesday night, Lamont Legion's Cruise Nights Last Car Show will again be this Wednesday from 6 to 9 p.m. in downtown Lamont. Visit myhcba.com for more information. This again is an outdoor event. Please remember again regarding the aforementioned face covering when you're not able to maintain 6 feet of distance from others. Again, this is the last car show. It's brought some normalcy to this somewhat crazy year and summer. So again, we appreciate what they've done. And again, we encourage everyone to come out, albeit in a safe manner. Additionally, the Village and Park District will hold another quote unquote chalk it up chalk art contest from September 4th through the 7th. Please visit the lamontparkdistrict.org for registration and information. In its 8th year, the Giving Back to Lamont 2020 concert has come up with a very creative way to still hold their concert to raise funds and collect food for both local Lamont food pantries. The event will be held on August 29th from 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. and will be streamed through YouTube and their Facebook page and be simulcast at certain restaurants. Some restaurants will also be holding raffles. For more information, please visit the Facebook page, Giving Back to Lamont, or the website hopeandfriendshipfoundation.com. Also, we have a new website and Facebook page specifically for visitors. So please share this information with your family and friends so that they are aware of what is in Lamont when they visit. The website is lamontdowntown.com. Again, it's lamontdowntown.com, and the Facebook page is Lamont Downtown. Lastly, census takers continue to visit homes that have not yet responded to the 2020 census. We are told they will be wearing face coverings, following local public health guidelines, and they will have a census ID badge when they visit your home. Their goal is to help you and everyone in your home be counted in the 2020 census. Additionally, again, you can complete your 2020 census by phone, online, or by mail. Please visit my2020census.gov to complete the online form or call. The number is 844-330-2020. Again, it's 844-330-2020. So that is it for the mayor's mention. Next up, we have the clerk's report. Charlene.
Thank you. I have no report other than the mail-in requests for ballots are available. The written ones are available at the Village Hall. They have been for about a week or so. If you want to just pick one up, you just fill it out and mail it in. The easier way, of course, if you're able, would be to check it online. And there's a spot for that, and you can just do it all online. Or most of Lamont residents by now should have received something in the mail where you can just send that in and save your stamp. And you can just mail that one in, and they will send you a ballot. And they will even email you when that ballot has been sent out to you. And they will, when you fill in your ballot and return it, they will be available. I believe it's the 24th of October. I'm not sure the date. I'd have to check that again. But anyway, when you return your ballot and you voted and you return your ballot in, they will also email you and let you know they have received it. So there's quite a checkup on that. It's not too dangerous to do that. But anyway, you can pick a form up at the Village Hall at the front desk, or you can just do it online. I just want people to know that. Also, so the first ordinance that passed this evening would be O-53-20. And this is authorizing the issuance of general obligation refunding bonds, alternate revenue source, Series 2020 of the Village of Lamont, Cook, DuPage, and Will County, Illinois, in an aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $2,625,000 for the purpose of refinancing certain outstanding obligations and paying for costs related thereto, and providing for the levy of the direct annual tax sufficient for the payment of the principal and the interest of said bonds.
Okay, I need a motion, please.
So moved, Snagowski.
Second, Kwasniewski.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Snagowski, seconded by trustee Kwasniewski. Chris, are you going to take this?
Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As we discussed this at the COW on August 17th with Bob Vale from Bernardi Securities, these are basically refunding bonds that are callable. And I do know at the bottom, the last sentence does state, providing a tax levy, but we do, the village has always abated the taxes for this. So we use our sales tax and our income tax revenue to pay the debt service payments on these bonds. But like I said before, these are really just callable, no money issue, no new money. This is like basically refinancing a home. And these are the 2012 A general obligation bonds, which were used to, it provided revenue, the bonds provided money for infrastructure and the technology infrastructure and Village Hall, remodeling of the Village Hall, as well as our contribution to the 355 highway at there. So anyway, that's basically a high level. We will be saving approximately between $330,000 and $370,000, depending on the way the interest rates go. And we're looking, and I believe, Bob, right, we're looking in around October and issuing these refunding bonds, correct?
Yes, that's correct. We need to close the issue after October 1st. So this is the board authorization setting the parameters for the refinancing. And then basically approved by the board, we're going to get started putting together documents, getting in front of the rating agency with an issuance the end of September, early October. Like to do it sooner rather than later, just to mitigate any interest rate risk, and knowing where rates are today, trying to lock that in within that range, or if not better than that range. But as Chris had mentioned, basically just a pure refinancing, dropping the current rate of about 3.98% down to somewhere we're projecting right now about 1.15.
Great, thanks, Bob, and thanks, Chris. And to reiterate what Chris mentioned for the public, again, this is very similar to a refinancing of a house. We have outstanding debt that we continue to pay off. We have multiple bonds. These bonds, again, there are windows that allow us to refinance. This is a bond that, as Bob just mentioned, was just under 4%, and we're going to get it well below 2%. And again, for what Chris mentioned, depending on what we close at, it's going to be a savings, anywhere from 340 to 370K. So, and again, we do not put this as a levy on the taxpayers. This is something we pay out of our general funds, and we continue to pay down our debt, similar to, I guess, using the house analogy, very similar to how households how we pay off our credit cards. So we continue to do that, albeit this time at a lower interest rate. So thanks, Chris. Thanks, Bob. Does any of the trustees have any questions or comments regarding this?
I should just make mention, I'll look for hands, but any savings is welcome. But as you mentioned, all of our bonds are paid out of different funds. We have a lot of bonds out of our water and sewer fund. This will be true savings out of our general fund, as you mentioned. I think that's important going forward. This was a project back in 2012 where the money we've been paying on these bonds has been directly out of our general fund. So it'll definitely help moving forward.
Thanks, George. Any other questions or comments?
Nope, I don't see any.
Okay, thanks, George. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Bob. With that being said, can we have a roll call, please?
McClafferty,
Yes.
Snagowski,
Yes.
Stapleton,
Yes.
Kittredge,
Yes.
Kwasniewski,
Yes.
Maher.
Yes.
Okay, motion approved.
The next ordinance to pass this evening would be O-54-20. And this is granting a special use for an outdoor storage in the M3 zoning district at 15324 and 15328 Canal Bank Road in Lamont, Illinois.
Okay, need a motion to approve, please.
So moved, trustee Maher.
Second, trustee Kittredge.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Maher, seconded by trustee Kittredge. Mark, are you taking the lead on this?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. So this item, Lamont Holdings LLC, represented by Eric Adams of Russo Salt and their attorney, Kevin Coyne. They're requesting a special use to allow outdoor storage, specifically in the form of a collection and distribution point for de-icing material, mulch, and other non-hazardous materials in our M3 zoning district. This item was a public hearing was held with the Planning and Zoning Commission on August 5th, where it received a unanimous 6-0 recommendation for approval. And this was before the Village Board Committee of the Whole on August 17th, 2020. Staff is recommending approval of the ordinance.
Thanks, Mark. And again, we talked quite a bit about this at our last Committee of the Whole public meeting. This is, as the map shows, it's in our industrial area, which is sandwiched between the Ship and Sanitary Canal, as well as the Des Plaines River. So with that being said, any other questions or comments regarding this from the trustees? Roll call, please.
McClafferty,
Yes.
Snagowski,
Yes.
Stapleton,
Yes.
Kittredge,
Yes.
Kwasniewski,
Yes.
Maher.
Yes.
Okay, great. Motion approved. Thanks, Mark.
The next ordinance this evening, if passed, would be O-55-20. And this is granting a special use for a planned unit development for Hamilton's mixed-use development at 1297 McCarthy Road in Lamont, Illinois.
Okay, need a motion, please.
So move Stapleton.
Second, McClafferty.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Stapleton, seconded by trustee McClafferty. Mark?
Yeah, yes, thank you.
Take the lead on this.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. JP Incorporated, represented by Patrick and Molly Roach, the owners of Hamilton's and the owners of the subject property, are requesting a preliminary plan unit development for the vacant property that has B3 zoning on the northwest corner of McCarthy and Walker Road. The plan would consist first floor of approximately 6,000 square foot restaurant space with outdoor dining, a 2,000 square foot space dedicated to a coffee shop or cafe with a drive-through, and another 2,000 square foot space for office or retail. Second floor would be residential with 3 apartments ranging from 1 to 2 bedroom and approximately 1,300 to 1,600 square feet each. The request for the preliminary PUD, a public hearing for this, was held on the January 8th, 2020 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted unanimously 7-0 in favor of the proposed preliminary PUD. This matter was before the Village Board Committee of the Whole on the January 13th, 2020 meeting. Since the Planning and Zoning meeting and the Committee of the Whole, the applicants made some changes to the plan that are relatively minor, but of note that there would be some reduced parking lot landscaping, and that has allowed the request to have some additional parking. There is a total of 61 parking spaces now. The plans also show a 6-foot wood privacy fence along the north and west boundaries. And to compensate for the loss of the parking lot landscaping, there's additional enhanced landscape buffering in sort of like the northeast corner of the property as well. And in addition, staff has added as a condition of approval that this preliminary PUD is granted solely to JEP Incorporated and may not be transferred to a different party without village board consent. Staff's recommending approval of the preliminary PUD ordinance.
Thanks, Mark. And, regarding this, this site development, this is an existing business in town Hamilton's. And we appreciate everyone that owns a business and runs one in Lamont. And we're very thankful for people that choose Lamont. With it going to planning and zoning, I know there were some recommendations that they made, and, with working with the business owner, it looks like they've made every attempt possible to abide by it. I know we've talked before about in public meetings, why are there apartments on it? And unfortunately, this is the county we live in. We live in Cook County, and Cook County has rules where if you have businesses without apartments living, you're going to pay a higher tax rate. And that's just the way things are. And Cook County is the only county that does that in Illinois, and it's one of the few that does it in the nation. So we have to work with, the rules that, that are governed to us by the county. And, an investment like this of upwards of $2 million, we have to, I definitely appreciate it, because there are not people lining up looking to invest, at least not during this time right now. So again, we appreciate, the work that these business owners have done, and we appreciate, them wanting to pursue this, even despite what's going on, from a COVID standpoint. And with that being said, we are looking to, make sure that this approval, I believe, has a window of opportunity. Correct, Mark? Is it a 1-year window?
Yeah, so a preliminary plan unit approval requires that the applicant apply for the final plan unit development within 1 year of approval of the preliminary PUD.
Great. So thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. So with that being said, any other questions or comments by the trustees?
Trustee McClafferty had his hand up. If you want to go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, even though, I approve the development, with respect to the motion, I'll be abstaining to eliminate the perception of a conflict of interest. I did represent the previous owners 2 years ago when I sold this property. I don't represent the current petitioner or owner. And even though the council agrees that a conflict doesn't exist, I'm still going to abstain from voting on this one.
Okay, thanks, Ken. Any other questions or comments? Okay, roll call, please.
McClafferty, abstain.
Abstain.
Snagowski,
Yes.
Stapleton,
Yes.
Kittredge,
Yes.
Kwasniewski,
Yes.
Maher.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Motion approved. Thank you, Charlene.
Okay, that's all I have this evening.
Great, thanks. Okay, next up is the village attorney report. Mike, you with us?
I am. Can everyone hear me? I hope.
Yes.
All right. Good to be in Village Hall again. It's been a while. we we continue to go through the Restore Illinois plan, but there's been some variations of the plan, both in originally the state had a certain amount of regional regions, and at the time that occurred, we were paired with the city of Chicago, and the city of Chicago had some of the higher rates, and in response to a lot of the concerns throughout the state, the governor and the Illinois Department of Public Health changed and made the state into many more regions. I think you can see that we are in region 10. Chicago is on its own at 11. Our DuPage, although we have very little DuPage, is in 8, and Will in Kankakee County is in 7, where we would have, most of Lamont would have been all together. Well, most of Lamont's in Cook County anyways, but we would have been with Chicago. And unfortunately, now Chicago's positivity rating, in regards to the test of COVID is probably one of the lowest in the state, other than number 6, the area for Champaign, and number 1 up north. But we are surrounded towards the south with some areas that are COVID hotspots throughout, not only throughout Illinois, but throughout the United States. Will County, for example, today had a positivity rating on all COVID tests of over 10%, which is very high. Why that's important is regions number 7 have gone back. As of Wednesday, they will go back, and there will be restrictions. Now, we were familiar with phase 4 and phase 3, and let me be clear that, and you'll see that in front of you, there's different tiers that go back. We don't automatically, when you hit a certain positivity rating and on your test, you don't specifically go right back to the old phase 3 restrictions. But just coming out in the last hour or two, and it's something that it's important for us to know, is the area number 7, the Kankakee and Will County area, now have restrictions where all indoor bars are closed. And there will then be restaurants will be only open, or there you can't have any bars within the restaurants. There are some restrictions on the amount of occupancy within certain businesses. Example, casinos can only operate at 25% now, and there's certain other things that are going into effect as of Wednesday. That really only applies to our small part of our village that is in Will County, but one of the thresholds is when you hit 8% positivity on the test for 3 straight days, you then go into the various tiers. You go into the mitigation factors. Being that we're in number 10 right now, Mayor, we are at 6.7% the last 2 days. We've been going up. And number 10 is, as of today, is at 6.7. So if we go up another 1.3%, example, we were at, on August 15th, we were at 6%. So we're steadily going up. Once we hit 8% for 3 days, we would expect in the Cook County portion to have the same type of restrictions that have occurred in Will County today. So that's unfortunately, I don't know why, but we're in it seems like one of the hotter spots in both Illinois and the United States, especially Will County and Kankakee. Grundy County is also has some issues as well. So the encouragement of the Illinois Department of Public Health, and as you said in your mayor's mention, is to continue to try to mitigate these factors so we don't have to go back, mask wearing and so forth. We will continue to work with your businesses. I know that Jason and George and I have been discussing of whether we're going to have another Zoom with your businesses to let them know what happens, because the most important thing for you all to tell your businesses that we're not going right back into phase 3. That's different now. So that's the takeaway. I hope that you can tell them. There's a 3-tier structure before you get into the 3rd tier would be the previous phase. So, but it's unfortunately looking like that could happen. And masks are mandatory now. There will be also one other thing is smaller meetings or smaller groups of individuals can meet. We're at 50 right now in phase 4 in the current stage. If we mitigate and go into tier 1, you can only have up to 25. So as always, we'll continue to inform you, and hopefully we won't have any further report and things turn around, but obviously it's not as good as it was about a month ago.
Thanks, Mike. Mike, couple questions just for clarity. So again, we're in Region 10, correct? Which is defined as all of Cook County except for the city of Chicago.
That's right.
And that's what our percentage is based on, that basically suburban Cook, right?
That's correct, yes.
And so the 8% would be if 10,000 people get tested, or call it 100 people get tested, if 8 or more test positive, we are 8% or higher, correct?
That's right, yeah.
And this is what kind of baffles me. Is there a place, I'm kind of putting you on the spot, and maybe we could just follow up with everyone, because what I'm hearing from some people is like, well, John, if only 2 people get tested and 1 is positive, we're at 50%. Yet, there could have been, thousands testing positive back when we were below, the 8%. So is there this percentage, I guess, it's not based on the actual magnitude of the positivity of the test. It's just based on, hey, these are the number of positive tests and it's divided by total tests.
That's right.
And my point in all this is I think, as we all know, that has the number of tests have they not been going down, based, or at least relative to February and March? Do we have any barometer on that, or?
Well, actually, the website has all the different metrics, including that question on tests. Tests they were down a little bit the last week. There's certain metrics, but it's just for everyone. It's coronavirus.illinois.gov, and it has all the different areas, including how many tests were given in each region. So that might answer partially, but it's coronavirus.illinois.gov, and it will explain all the different testing that's going on. Basically, I don't want to overcomplicate it. The big thing is the 8% is the number that we need to avoid, because there's another factor that we could go back into it, but that includes hospital availability, which we're very strong on in our region. So really, 3 days of 8% or over gets us into that tier 1, and let's hope we stay away from that.
Got it. So what we'll do is, we haven't hit 8% yet. We will follow up with our businesses, or at least I suggest, we could talk to Jason more, but once we hit 1 day of 8%, we should definitely be reaching out to the businesses if we, and I know we've have in some shape or form already, but we don't want customers to be surprised as well.
Is this? I have a question for is this for Region 10, correct? Not for the village, the percentage, correct?
That's correct. It's for the whole region.
So like we have, we're locked in with Cicero, who've 4,000 cases. We've got 200 confirmed cases. It's so basically that's what we're unfortunately we're roped in with these towns that have the higher cases.
Right. That's true. And we're in a smaller subset than we were before. When we were before, we would be included in Chicago. And also there would have been DuPage and parts of McHenry and Lake. And but that changed in the middle of July. If Chicago's numbers, I can tell you right now, I have Chicago Region 11 is at 5.2%. And if Region 8, which is DuPage, is at 5.8, but Chicago has the lion's share of the tests, and obviously the population. If we had Chicago now, like we did up until the middle of July, we probably wouldn't have the heartburn and concern, if that makes any. But the changes were made, and now we have to deal with them.
Got it. Thanks, Mike. Anything else? Okay. Thanks again. Okay. George, anything for village administrator report?
Yeah, just want to reset the calendar going forward. Actually have a lot of meetings. They'll all be on Zoom. We're working to create some other options for hybrid meetings in the future, potentially if things get better. But check our website for the meetings coming up. This Wednesday, we have a H-Core meeting. Every month, the fourth Wednesday of every month, the group meets and talks about different projects and initiatives related to outdoor recreation. And so that's going to be this week. Planning and zoning will meet on September 2nd on their usual day. Downtown focus group in September, and then our regular board meetings in September and October. And again, we'll continue to utilize the electronic format with looking at different options for the future as this thing goes. As we remain in, at the very best, phase 4 until there's an effective treatment or vaccine. We should be here for several more months. So, and just want to update everybody, just go, you can see all of our past meetings, agendas, minutes, videos of meetings on our website, along with other useful tools, and also sign up for our Stay Informed platform. If you have any questions, you can contact Village Hall. Still working out some kinks with the new site, but please stay informed. There's a lot going on, and just wanted to pass that along. So turn it back over to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, George. Okay, next up, do we have any staff reports?
Yes, I have one tonight,
Ralph
Mr.
had
Mayor.
one. Go ahead, Ralph.
Yeah, go ahead, Ralph.
Just a quick reminder to our residents regarding our water restrictions. We have to make sure we take care of our water system, especially now during this heat and drought conditions that we have. If you have an even address number, you can water on even days. And if you have an odd address number, you can water on odd days. And there is no watering between 10 and 6. So just try to stay with that, and your grass should be fine and your flowers should live. But we have to protect our system. And that's all I have tonight, Mayor.
Thanks, Ralph. Appreciate it. And that's 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
Thanks, Ralph. Okay. Any other staff reports? All right. Next up, any board reports or new business, unfinished business?
Nope, no hands up today, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. All right. George, you want to take over? Next up is our audience participation. You want to handle that, please?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the time of the agenda where we have our audience participation. Just remind everybody to use the raise your hand feature on the Zoom platform if you would like to speak. If you're calling just over a phone, you can raise your hand using *9. And there's a graphic showing at the bottom of the screen, manage participants. And then you can raise your hand from there, and I'll unmute you, and you can speak to the board. I'll give you another minute or so. I don't see, or a second or so. I don't see any hands. All right. I don't see anybody requesting to speak, so you can move forward, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. And again, if residents do have questions, they're more than welcome to submit them via email, right, George? And we will read them at the at the
Correct.
upcoming
The
board meeting.
record during this section. So, yep,
And
absolutely.
Mr. Mayor and George, if I just could add also for your record, there's no one here at Village Hall that's present or wishes obviously them to speak.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. With that being said, we will be going into executive session for 2C11 imminent litigation. We do not expect, any board approval is needed after this. So with that being said, need a motion, please.
So move Stapleton.
Second, McClafferty.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Stapleton, seconded by trustee McClafferty. With that being said, we will be moving into executive session, and this ends the public portion of our meeting tonight. Want to wish everyone a great week and thank you for everyone for joining. At this time, we will be exiting, correct, George?
Yeah.
We
what I'll-
need a roll call.
Yeah, right before I'll just make mention after your roll call. I will, anybody who, you can leave the meeting if anybody wants to stick around. I'll put you in the waiting room if you're not a trustee or the village attorney or myself. But there will be no business afterwards,
Okay.
so you can just leave the meeting, and I'll also stop the live stream. So we'll take about a 3-minute break while I go ahead and handle those items. But yeah, if you want to go ahead with the roll call.
Okay. McClafferty,
Yes.
Snagowski,
Yes.
Stapleton,
Yes.
Kittredge,
Yes.
Kwasniewski,
Yes.
Maher.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Charlene. Now it's official. The public meeting's over. Thanks again, everyone, for attending.